very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television, bringing you the top national, international, sports and business news from India and across the world. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this morning's headlines. Parliament passes Finance Bill 2017. Lok Sabha rejects all 5 amendments moved by the upper house. GST Council meeting today to finalize rules for new tax regime. 5 sets of rules have already been approved. Lawyers on strike against proposed bill that bars advocates from going on strike. Supreme Court lawyers kept out of protest. Heat stroke claims 2 lives in Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha reel under scorching heat. And biggest river festival of India to begin today in Guwahati. Namami Brahmaputra to commence in 21 districts of Assam. A top story this morning, the GST Council will meet in the national capital today to finalize rules and regulations of the new indirect tax regime. Now, both the centre and states will sit together to discuss the matter. Well, the GST Council has already approved 5 sets of rules relating to registration, payments, refund, invoice and returns. The Lok Sabha on Wednesday cleared 4 supplementary GST legislations, the Central GST, Integrated GST, Union Territory GST and the Compensation Law. Well, these laws would have supporting rules which would be notified by the centre and the states before the new tax regime is implemented. Well, the Council has recommended a 4-tier tax structure of 5, 12, 18 and 28%. And Lok Sabha on Thursday passed the Finance Bill after rejecting the amendments sent in by Rajya Sabha. Well, the bill was passed by a voice vote. Now, with the passage of this bill, the budgetary exercise for 2017-18 has been completed.
Parliament on Thursday approved the Finance Bill 2017 after the Lok Sabha rejected 5 amendments moved by the upper house. During the debate on the bill, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said the amendments can't be accepted by the government. Defending the government's amendments to the Income Tax Act, Jaitley said it will protect the whistleblowers. He added that the government is open to consider suggestions to bring about transparency in political funding.
I am only hearing adjectives like it must be clean, it must be transparent. Please give me the ideal combination of the two. We are willing to consider it. But the fact is, under the circumstances, these are 4 options which we have opened, and these are 4 which emanate from a scheme which will be drawn under the Income Tax Act.
Opposition members as well as MPs of allies, however, objected to the government's amendments to political funding and demanded the amendments made by the Rajya Sabha. These included an upper limit for political funding by companies, a cap of 7.5% of net profit of the last 3 financial years for donation to political parties, and disclosure of names of the political parties getting the contributions.
Here you are opening the floodgates for corporate funding for political purpose. At this point of time, any political party which is in government may reap benefit.
This step, in my opinion, madam, will bring transparency in the process of contributions to political parties and will enable both the parties and companies to disclose the funding information and boost accountability.
पॉलिटिकल फंड्स में ट्रांसपेरेंसी होनी चाहिए, किसने दिया, कितना दिया और कितना फंड्स होना चाहिए, इसका भी एक लिमिट तय होना चाहिए.
When you are ready for transparency, why don't you accept this Rajya Sabha amendment? Madam, Rajya Sabha is a house of reason.
Rajya Sabha had also made amendments to delete provisions relating to the powers given to taxmen like power to requisition books of account, power to survey and more powers to officers. However, all these amendments were rejected by a voice vote in Lok Sabha. The Congress and TMC insisted on following parliamentary traditions.
आर्टिकल 80 पहले आया था. काउंसिल ऑफ स्टेट्स, राज्यों से, प्रदेशों से आवाजें हमारी देश की नीतियां बनाने में, हमारे देश की जो है कानून, संविधान बनाने में वो आवाजें भी उतनी महत्वपूर्ण हैं. तो आज मैं समझता हूं कहीं ना कहीं आर्टिकल 80 की भावना का भी जो है इस सरकार ने ध्यान नहीं रखा है.
Bicameral system is there
for checks and balance. Just because a party has a majority in Lok Sabha, it should not ride roughshod over the opinion of the other house.
With the passage of the finance bill, the budget procedure has been completed before 31st March for the first time ever. Ravindra Sharan's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And staying with the Parliament, members in the Rajya Sabha voiced concern over the safety of the railways and raised questions over upgradation of its infrastructure. Well, during the debate on the Appropriation Railways Bill, concerns were raised that India has had one of the worst years as far as the railway safety is concerned, as over 180 people have died in various accidents. Well, this is the highest figure since 2010. In his reply, the Rail Minister said that Railways will spend about 10,000 crore rupees for the renewal of tracks and adopt the latest technology to detect a rail fracture to reduce the accident rates to zero level.
So safety is a function, and particularly derailment, which again happened this morning, is an issue related to track and the wheel. The interaction between track and the wheel is a problem. So the track modernization needs new machines. There is a possibility that we can actually detect a crack in the track by having a machine, which is already ordered and they are working on it.
रेलवे में बहुत अधिक पद 15 लाख रिक्त है अभी पद। जब से अब भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनी है तब से रेलवे विभाग ने किसी को नौकरी नहीं दिया है।
Railway is losing share in both freight and premium passenger service to alternate modes of transport, necessitating an integrated approach to greater safety, cleanliness and passenger comfort and higher service levels to freight construction through end-to-end service.
A few hundreds of SPV projects were declared in the last budget. I want to know whether, from the government, whether how many of those SPV projects are being materialized? How many of them are being practicalized?
And External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj assured the upper house of an impartial investigation into the alleged racial attack on Nigerian students. She also promised stern action against the guilty. However, members cutting across party lines voiced grave concern over the issue and claimed that the incident has tarnished India's image across the globe.
दोनों घटनाएं बहुत दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है जिसका उल्लेख शरद जी ने किया।
External Affairs Minister venting out her grievance over the assault on 4 Nigerian students in Uttar Pradesh's Greater Noida. Swaraj apprised the House during Zero Hour that UP CM Yogi Adityanath has ensured a fair probe into the matter. She also confirmed that the victims are being given medical treatment and reiterated the government's commitment to deter such incidents in future.
मैंने स्वयं ने बात की और योगी आदित्यनाथ जी ने फोन करके ये कहा कि जांच बिल्कुल निष्पक्ष होनी चाहिए। मेरा ये कहना है कि जब तक जांच का परिणाम नहीं आ जाता तब तक इसके बारे में कुछ और हमको कहना उचित नहीं होगा।
Earlier, Sharad Yadav raised the issue and urged the government to take steps on war footing to ensure safety of African nationals in India.
होम मिनिस्ट्री को और सरकार को बड़े पैमाने पर प्रयास करना चाहिए कि कैसे ये बाहर के जो लोग आते हैं, हम चाहते हैं कि दुनिया में हमारे बाहर के लोगों का इज्जत और मान और सम्मान, उनके साथ कोई दुश्मनी न हो, लेकिन हमारे देश में नोएडा में जिस तरह की हरकत होती है, 60 लोगों ने मारा उनको।
Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad and CPIM leader Sitaram Yechuri demanded a resolution in the House to condemn the attack.
We should strongly condemn this and tomorrow morning it should come from the House and maybe from the chair will be an appropriate so that it takes care of the entire House.
There should be a special resolution that the House should move and we should adopt it.
Yes, we can consider that along with
the government should consider this.
Deputy Chairman PJ Kurian also urged the government to ensure such incidents do not happen.
We are condemning the racial attack on Indians in other countries, in America, Australia, and at the same time, racial attack in our country cannot be justified. Government should be very vigilant, very strong action should be taken.
Meanwhile, Indian ambassador to Nigeria, B. Nagabhushna Reddy, was summoned by the federal government of Nigeria. The Nigerian government said those responsible for the attack must be arrested and prosecuted immediately. 4 Nigerians were assaulted in a mall in Greater Noida and surrounding areas after a protest by local residents went out of control. The locals were protesting against the death of a class 12th student suspected to have died of a drug overdose at the hands of Nigerians. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news now. Well, the Election Commission has said that the prediction of election results by astrologers and tarot readers in the period when there is a ban on broadcasting exit polls is a violation of law. Well, the Commission has asked the media, both electronic and print, to refrain from airing and publishing such programs in future. That is during elections, during the prohibited period, to ensure free, fair and transparent polls. Well, in an advisory sent to the media organizations, the poll watchdog pointed to Section 126A of the Representation of the People's Act, while the strongly worded advisory also sent to the Press Council of India and News Broadcasters Association said that such attempts merely to score brownie points against the competitors for merely commercial reasons do not behove well. And today is the last day for depositing old notes in the Reserve Bank of India. Well, from 1st of April, those found in possession of old notes will be liable for criminal action as per the new law of the government. Well, those Indians who were abroad between November and December 2016 have been given time by the RBI to deposit old notes. In the case of the NRIs, the deadline is 30th of June this year. Well, the Supreme Court last week expressed displeasure at the government's defence that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's assurance to the people that they would be able to deposit the old currency notes till March end had been superseded by a last-minute ordinance that shut this window on 31st of December. Well, the ordinance made it a crime to hold more than 10 banned currency notes. Well, there is no jail term for violators, but the law lays out a minimum fine of 10,000 rupees or 5 times the seized amount. On to some other news. Well, lawyers across the country will strike today against the Advocate Amendment Bill 2017. Now, it was proposed by the Law Commission of India to the government. Well, the bill bars advocates from holding agitation and makes them liable to compensate litigants if they go on strike. Now, in the wake of this, the lawyers have decided to abstain from judicial work in all courts today. The Bar Council of India has said that the recommendations were against their interests. The lawyers practicing in the Supreme Court have, however, been kept out of the strike, while a coordination committee of Bar Associations of Delhi District Courts has said that Union Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has assured them that the bill would not be passed without consulting them. And in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Gyan Chopper is the ancient version of Indian snakes and ladders. This intriguing game was popular among the old, the young and the rulers as well. The chopper has its origin in the Jain philosophy. It tells the story of virtue, symbolized by the ladders, rewarded, while the vices shown by the snakes are punished. Each square, in turn, also narrates some message of wisdom.
Well, thanks for staying with us. Well, representatives of the agitating meat sellers and exporters met Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Adityanath Yogi in Lucknow yesterday. Well, State Health Minister Siddharthnath Singh was also present at this meeting. He said that the Chief Minister has assured the delegation that stern action would be taken if any officer acted against a legal and licensed slaughterhouse. While Singh claimed that a way to move forward has been found and that the two sides were happy with the outcome of the meeting, a representative in the delegation said that the strike would continue till 5th of April and if it could be extended as well if the demands were not met.
ये सरकार जो है वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट और एनजीटी का पालन करना चाहती है। पिछली सरकारों को कर लेना चाहिए था, ना तो ये तकलीफ नहीं होती और साथ ही साथ सरकार को कहीं संवैधानिक कोई कठिनाई हो उसका भी सरकार को ध्यान देना पड़ता है और साथ ही साथ मुख्यमंत्री जी ने ये भी कहा कि पूर्वाग्रह से कोई भी ये सरकार काम नहीं कर रही है और ना ही इस सरकार ने कोई भी निर्देश किसी भी अधिकारी को दिया है कि तो आप चेहरा और जाति देख के कोई काम करो, और कोई भी जाति और चेहरा देख के कोई भी अधिकारी, और ये विशेष रूप से मैं फिर दोहरा रहा हूं मुख्यमंत्री जी की तरफ से, कोई भी ऐसा काम करेगा तो उस पे कड़ी कार्रवाई होगी। आज के बाद अब इसको टॉलरेट नहीं करा जाएगा।
मैं अपने इस माध्यम से अपने तमाम भाइयों से अपील करना चाहता हूं, जिन लोगों का कारोबार है उस कारोबार को वो तरीके से शुरू करने की कोशिश करें, और चाहे उसमें 1 दिन 2 दिन के बाद जानवर आने शुरू हो जाएंगे और उनको अपनी दुकानें खोलें वो, और लाइसेंस जो है वो अप्लाई करें, और लाइसेंस जो है ये प्रशासन उनको देगा। स्लॉटर हाउस जो है जो ठीक हो सकते हैं, उन स्लॉटर हाउस की बात हुई है वो ठीक होंगे, और जो एक्सपोर्ट के स्लॉटर हाउसेज है जिनमें छोटी छोटी कमियां हैं वो उनको हम ठीक करके बता देंगे।
All right, so let's get you the weather update. Well, it is only the end of March, but several states across the country are already witnessing severe heat wave conditions. Well, at least 2 people died of heat stroke in Maharashtra, where the Met Department issued a moderate heat wave alert. Now, Akola was the hottest place in India with a maximum temperature of 44 degrees Celsius, while Titlagarh in Odisha was a close second, recording 43.8 degrees Celsius. Now, heat wave continued in Rajasthan as well, as several districts recorded maximum temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius. Now, the Met Department has forecast a dry weather at most places in the state till today, with a severe heat wave at many other places as well. Well, heat wave conditions will continue in most parts of Madhya Pradesh as well for at least 2 to 3 days due to the hot air coming in from Rajasthan. Well, the conditions of heat wave are also witnessed in isolated places in Uttar Pradesh and in Gujarat as well. Temperatures there have been hovering between 40 to 42 degrees Celsius in the last few days. Now, Telangana's Adilabad district is sizzled with the highest maximum temperature of 42.5 degrees Celsius, but no heat wave conditions are prevailing in the state, at least as yet.
It is likely that the temperatures may rise in the next 5-10 days, because it is a transition period for the all over India.
All the hospitals of the Maharashtra which are under us and which are under the medical education, they have been instructed to construct to create a heat wave therapy room, and people will be treated there. I will appeal to the people that not to go out during the sunny day, at least between 12 to 4 p.m.
ओवरऑल जो स्थिति है, बहुत सारा एरिया जो देश का है वो हीट वेव की ग्रिप में है। अगर मैं राज्यों के नाम बताऊं तो खास तौर से राजस्थान, मध्य प्रदेश और उससे लगा हुआ जो विदर्भा है और नॉर्थ मध्य महाराष्ट्र है, गुजरात का कुछ हिस्सा है, इसमें जो हीट वेव है पिछले 2 से 3 दिन से कई जगह में चल रही है, और साथ ही साथ जो हीट वेव है छत्तीसगढ़ और इंटीरियर उड़ीसा में भी देखी जा रही है। अगर हम फोरकास्ट की बात करें तो ये हीट वेव आगे 2 से 3 दिन रहेगी, पर ये 2 दिन के बाद में इसमें जो थोड़ी जो इंटेंसिटी है उसकी कम हो जाएगी और एरिया भी कम हो जाएगा।
And on to the other top story of the day. Well, the stage is set for Namami Brahmaputra, the biggest river festival of India, which will commence in 21 districts of Assam today. While President Pranab Mukherjee, Prime Minister of Bhutan, Governor of Assam and Chief Ministers of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh will be attending the inaugural ceremony in Guwahati today. Well, various cultural programs, traditional sports, Brahmaputra Aarti, exhibition, film shows, seminars and competitions are being organized as a part of the Namami Brahmaputra festival. Well, Guwahati city has got a new look for the festival. Now, big banners and hoardings have been put up across the city, welcoming all to the 5-day long event. Well, all schools will remain closed at Kamrup Metro District today. Spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama and several union ministers will also be attending the festival. Well, the festival is likely to give a boost to investment and tourism prospect in the state. Well, security has also been beefed up in and around Guwahati city ahead of the visit of President and the Dalai Lama. And on a Thursday, President Pranab Mukherjee conferred the Padma Awards at a ceremony held at Rashtrapati Bhavan. Well, among dignitaries present at the occasion were Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Well, 39 awards were conferred this year. Murli Manohar Joshi, later PA Sangma, Sharad Pawar and former chairman of ISRO, Professor UDP Ramachandra Rao, were conferred the Padma Vibhushan, the country's second highest civilian award. Yoga Guru Swami Niranjana Anand as Saraswati, Bhai Princess Mahachakri Chirindhon, and the father of laparoscopic surgery in India, Tehenton Iraj Udvadia, received the Padma Bhushan awards. Well, the number of Padma awardees this year is 89, which includes 7 recipients, each for Padma Vibhushan and Padma Bhushan. Well, the rest of the awardees will be conferred the awards on 13th of April. And now a look at what all is expected to make news through the day in the day ahead. The Supreme Court will pronounce its order on pleas for a relook at its verdict banning liquor events within 500 meters of national and state highways from 1st of April. Well, Attorney General Mukul Rohtgi has said that the judgment needs a rectification as the budget of the states will go for a 6. Well, the unprecedented contempt case contemplated against a sitting judge of a high court by the Supreme Court is all set to reach its climax today, with the Justice C.S. Karnan, currently of the Calcutta High Court, is slated to appear before the Apex Court. Well, Justice Karnan has already rejected the Supreme Court notices as well as an arrest warrant. The Supreme Court will also hear Students' Islamic Organization of India's plea for inclusion of Urdu in National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test or the NEET exam. Earlier, the court had refused to hear the plea. Now, the centre has said it is not possible to include Urdu in NEET from this year. An Indian Coast Guard and a Pakistan Maritime Security Agency will hold a meeting next month in New Delhi. Well, in the meeting, scheduled from 16th to 19th of April, the two sides will discuss maritime issues, including the fishermen issue and cooperation in search and rescue operations. The meeting is part of the MOU signed between the two maritime security agencies way back in 2006. Well, the announcement of the meeting comes after the arrest of fishermen of the two countries by each other's maritime forces for trespassing into each other's waters. Well, more than 100 Indian fishermen were arrested and 19 of their boats were seized on Sunday by Pakistan. Well, another short break in here. We'll be back with international and sports news.
The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Welcome back. Well, Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Tun Razak on Thursday arrived in Chennai on a 5-day visit. Well, he was welcomed by the High Commissioner of Malaysia to India, Malaysia's Consul General in Chennai, and the Tamil Nadu Government Principal Secretary. Well, the visiting dignitary was hosted at a reception at Raj Bhavan by Tamil Nadu Governor C.H. Vidyasagar Rao. Well, Chief Minister K. Palanisamy and Speaker P. Dhanapal were also there to attend the reception. Well, Najib's visit is aimed at taking forward the close political and economic ties between the two countries, while projects between worth $5 billion are expected to be discussed during his visit. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Najib will hold wide-ranging talks on 1st of April, during which the two sides will also try to take forward their cooperation in key areas of security, defense and counter-terrorism. Pakistani authorities have detained 2 Indians during their census exercise, claiming that they were illegally living in their country. Well, the Provisional Census Commissioner of Sindh said that both the persons did not have any legal documents. They were reportedly detained after first phase of census in 8 districts of Sindh province. Now they have been reportedly handed over to law enforcement agencies for further investigation. Remember, Pakistan on 15th of March began its first census in about 2 decades with the assistance of over 2 lakh troops and officials. Well, the data collected will be used for key policy decisions, including delimitation of constituencies. Well, ousted South Korean President Park Geun-hye has been arrested over a corruption scandal that led to her dismissal. Well, the 65-year-old was driven to a detention center south of Seoul after a court approved her arrest. Well, Park is being investigated on charges of bribery, abuse of authority, coercion and leaking government secrets. Well, she's accused of allowing her close friend Choi Soon-sil to extort money from companies in return for political favors. Well, Park, who was removed from office earlier this month, denies the claims. She can be held for up to 20 days before being formally charged. If convicted, Park could face more than 10 years in prison. Now, remember, she's the 3rd former president of South Korea to be arrested over criminal allegations. And a look at what else is making news across the globe in World Wrap. Israel has approved the building of the first new settlement on the occupied West Bank in more than 2 decades. This comes even as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been simultaneously negotiating with the US government on reducing settlement activity. Palestinian officials have condemned the move. Malaysia has released the body of the assassinated half-brother of North Korea's leader following negotiations with Pyongyang. Kim was murdered at Kuala Lumpur airport with a lethal nerve agent last month. The assassination led to a major diplomatic dispute between Malaysia and North Korea. Australian authorities fear that people may have drowned as a flood emergency grips 2 states in the wake of Cyclone Debbie. Tens of thousands of residents have already been evacuated in northern New South Wales and southern Queensland. Well, the storm has moved out to sea after hitting northern Queensland as a Category 4 cyclone on Tuesday. And Islamic State group fighters battling Iraqi forces in Mosul are holding civilians hostage in buildings and then deliberately attracting strikes by coalition aircrafts. Well, a spokesperson for the US-led coalition has said. Well, the comments comes after the senior US leader in Iraq acknowledged that a coalition strike earlier this month probably killed dozens of civilians. And on to some sports news now. Well, star Indian shuttlers Saina Nehwal and PV Sindhu will face each other in a mouth-watering quarter-final clash at the Indian Super Series badminton tournament. Well, world number 8 Saina Nehwal brushed aside Thailand's Pornpawi Chonchuwong 21-14, 21-12 in a lopsided contest in the pre-quarter finals. PV Sindhu, on the other hand, had to toil hard for her 21-16, 23-21 win over Japan's Saina Kawakami. Now, both the shuttlers have met just once in an international competition at the 2014 Syed Modi International, where Saina Nehwal prevailed in straight games. Meanwhile, in the men's singles, Samir Verma continued with his brilliant form with another stunning win over higher-ranked Hoon Yu of Hong Kong. Verma, who is now the lone Indian in the men's competition, won 21-17, 21-15. Well, that's it from me and my entire Breakfast Bulletin team at the moment. But news and updates continue on Rajya Sabha television. Thanks for watching.